Welcome back. Every week we are asking our Midco people to put together a short list of the greatest athletes at the school that they cover. And this is just in the last 10 years. We limited it to the last decade, and it's based mostly on what they did in their college career. And North Dakota State is up this week with Brian Shawn, and these are not easy choices, B. And that little caveat about what they did at North Dakota State and not necessarily what they did in a pro career that might have followed that. That leads us into our first guy here, who was a great quarterback at NDSU, whose name is not Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I think everybody expects Carson Wentz to be top on that list, but Carson only had 23 career starts, and obviously he's special what he did. But Easton Stick, 88 career touchdown passes, #1 in school history, 8,700 career passing yards, #1 in school history, 129 total touchdowns responsible for, #1 in school history, 49 wins, all-time winningest quarterback in FCS history. And I think sometimes gets undervalued because of who he came after. But Easton was a winner. The kid won a couple of national titles. He stepped in as a redshirt freshman too, Tom, and went 8-0 when Carson Wentz got hurt. So those are the reasons I put him on top of this list.
All right, a track guy up next. And unfortunately, he didn't get a shot at the Summer Olympics that got postponed this summer, but Payton Otterdahl.
Payton Otterdahl, just the second man ever to win the weight throw and also shot throw at the indoor championships in the NCAA. The first NDSU man to win an individual national championship and was a multi-time All-American between the discus and shot. The way that guy developed, he set an all-time collegiate mark at the Summit League championships on February 23rd, throwing 71 feet. A little over 71 feet. So that's why Payton Otterdahl, to me, stands above the rest. And certainly he's got a pro career ahead of him as well after setting a pretty high bar at NDSU.
All right, up next, a golfer, Amy Anderson Olsen. I don't know what she goes by right now, but was a fantastic player for the Bison in her day.
Yeah, this one ages me a little bit, Tom, because I remember covering her winning Fargo-Moorhead women's all-city tournaments when she was 13 years old. So the fact that now she's like married and is like an adult is kind of hard for me to fathom sometimes. But, 20 career individual titles, and she set a new NCAA record, breaking the mark of 17 held by Julie Inkster, who had, a tremendous career on the LPGA Tour. So Amy Anderson, who was, again, a homeschooled kid, not a lot of people knew about her. All of a sudden she comes to a place like North Dakota State where obviously we don't have a ton of great weather around Fargo to play all year round, and for her to do what she did, and certainly beyond her collegiate career, has been really fun to watch, and I think that's why she deserves to be on there.
All right, and the last guy is a hoops guy, and this is from a great era of NDSU basketball, not just on his team alone with the guys that he played with, but Lawrence Alexander gets the nod here.
Yeah, and another guy I think that sometimes gets undervalued. 131 career starts at NDSU, most in program history, 4th all-time leading scorer. Had 28 points against Oklahoma in the Bison's first ever tournament win, back in 2014. Loses 3 starters off that team, comes back in 2015, and was a Summit League Player of the Year and led the Bison back to the NCAA tournament after beating South Dakota State, and then played Gonzaga, was very competitive with Gonzaga in that game. So, to me, LA stands out as one of those guys that was just tough as nails, started every game, was super durable, and to me, on the biggest stages, always stepped up the most. So to me, when you look at his numbers and what he was able to accomplish over the course of his career, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well deserved, and feel free to fight with Brian on social media about any of these selections, but it's a tough call. These are not easy to pick even from the last 10 years. But all right, B, thanks a lot, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, Tommy. Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back.
Benchwarmers on Midco Sports Network is presented by 𝗡𝗗𝗦 Orthopedics.